Tonight, exposing a high-performance coach who's skating on thin ice. Grove Bennett owes creditors millions and left his partners high and dry right across the globe. So when our cameras tracked him down in Melbourne, it became a game of cat and mouse.
I nearly lost everything, my home.
This is the story of a failed businessman turned international escapee who took over an Australian sporting code.
This is quite damaging.
The bank's accused you of fraud, Grove. Is this the way for an ice hockey official in charge of the sport in Australia to be handling themselves?
He just vanished one day, and nobody knew where he'd gone. Nobody was able to contact him.
Steve Barclay was Grove Boomer Bennett's Canadian business partner.
Had, his son, his daughter, his wife, him, all on Facebook profiles, and suddenly they were gone. Instagram was gone.
We spoke with Steve from Vancouver.
You've got to give the guy credit because he's like the Energizer Bunny. He just bounces back from everything and carries on, carrying forward with a smile. He can't do what he says he can do.
Canada 2014. Grove buys a company called Aroga Technologies that sells disability products. He's accused of funneling some of those funds into a multi-level marketing scheme that peddles quantum-infused hologram patches for all sorts of ailments from weight loss to insomnia. As his business spirals into debt, the Toronto Dominion Bank comes knocking, accusing Grove of providing false and misleading information.
He basically started to treat the company as his personal piggy bank.
As well as the company's debt, Grove personally owes $3.2 million when he goes bankrupt in Canada. He has $1 million in unpaid tax and racks up a $100,000 credit card bill. His luxury boat is seized after storage fees go unpaid.
I started to learn that something was amiss when I couldn't get even simple answers to accounting questions.
In 2017, after the bank launched legal action against Grove and his wife Diane, Boomer bought his family a one-way ticket to Australia.
Well, I've got serious reservations, just as a normal member, as every other of the 5,000 members of Ice Hockey Australia are, about the couple $100 a year I pay to the organization. Where's it going? Who's using it? Who has access to it?
Sandy Logan's played ice hockey for 60 years. The journalist initially uncovered Grove's past and says the allegations against him are concerning.
He left dozens and dozens of mums and dads, just small business people, hanging and swinging in the breeze. He never declared to anyone back in Australia that he had this history.
Riding on the back of his late father's fame as a hockey star in the 70s, Grove embedded himself in Australia's league, and by September he'd scored. Appointed director, then president of Ice Hockey Australia, before eventually creating a brand new position for himself, CEO.
He had individually rung myself and other directors to push the idea, so it was not raised by anybody else on the board.
Adrian Miller was the treasurer. With the new season's registrations flooding in, he says he was concerned with the allegations about Grove's past and his rapid rise to the sport's top spot. Adrian quit.
If he had have disclosed that, absolutely, I would not have endorsed him or voted for him at all.
The sporting body was made aware of Grove's history early March. It failed to act.
They were all aware that Grove Bennett was dangerous goods.
We tracked down the self-titled high-performance coach to Patterson Lakes in Melbourne, where he also runs the Boomers Tennis Academy.
Grove Bennett, Sam Cucciara, Current Affair. Just a few questions about the trail of financial destruction you've left behind in Canada, Grove. Is it appropriate that you're taking a position with Ice Hockey Australia now and in charge of millions of dollars that comes with that, Grove? The Toronto Bank and your former business partner in Canada have been trying to track you down. Is it time to get in touch with them and hand yourself in?
What you're watching is the head of a national sporting code, so desperate to avoid scrutiny, he literally ducks for cover.
Grove, you're in charge of a major sport and a national team. Surely that involves answering questions. Why are you hiding behind a kitchen bench?
Just 24 hours after that embarrassing performance, Grove was on ice, resigning from Ice Hockey Australia. In its public statement, no mention of his shady past. The bombshell coming just days before the national women's team is due to fly out for the World Championships.
He didn't stay to answer the bell, he's not accountable, and he will always run from his responsibilities.
Grove, is it game, set and match?
We did send Grove Bennett a detailed list of questions. He didn't respond, and neither did Ice Hockey Australia.